having a hobby that is just for you, not for the kids, not for your spouse. And then that is how you're going to meet people. If you have a lot of negativity in your life, that is going to be how you meet people that have the same interests as you.
Hey guys, so before we get started today, I'm so happy to tell you that the MomTalks with Christa show is now officially a podcast. Oh yeah, we've been wanting to do this for a while now, so I'm just so excited. So it's actually officially been a podcast for almost 2 months now, but we record these way in advance. So this is the first episode I was able to officially record it in and let you guys know. For those of you guys looking for it, it is currently on the Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, and the Stitcher app. So many different podcast choices out there for you to listen to, and it's going to be great because you don't have to sit and watch on the screen the whole time. You can listen to it wherever you are. Alright, so each week now I'm going to start off by reading a review of the week that we get on one of our podcast platforms. So here we go. Today's review comes from CT_anu. I love Christa's Mom Talks. Every episode has so much useful information. It's been a great resource for my second pregnancy. So excited that it's now available as a podcast. Already the first episode rocks. Awesome, thanks for your review. And follow us on Instagram. We are doing giveaways every single Monday. I'm reading a review of the week and you'll get a $5 Amazon gift card. So your support just means the world to us. All right, today on the show we have Lauren Kubat. And if you've been watching Mom Talks with Christa for a while, you might recognize her name because she was one of the first people I ever interviewed on this show. I think her episode came out like early 2019. So a lot has happened since then. She has really transformed her life and her career, that her posts, every time I see them, are just so inspiring to me that I just knew I had to have her on the show. She's a mom of 2, a group fitness instructor, and most recently a motivational speaker and the host of her own podcast, Become Your Vision. As usual, I'll be splitting up her episode into 2 parts. So today we're going to be talking about the power of mindset and how she got into motivational speaking. So here we go.
So for anyone that doesn't know, tell us a little bit about you.
So first and foremost, I'm a mom. I am a group fitness instructor. So I teach a few classes a week, and that's how I kind of got into fitness. Is actually I started taking group fitness classes and then I loved it so much I became a group fitness instructor. And then when I had or was about to have my first child, so I was doing the group fitness like in the evenings. I was a full-time teacher, and I knew once I had him that I couldn't be a full-time teacher anymore. For me, it wasn't ultimately my passion. I grew into loving group fitness. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to do this, when I can still be home. And then they have daycare and things like that. So transitioned over to group fitness and then started, I guess, building clientele there. And then actually it's funny because it was about a year ago, I tried to use like a lot of affirmations and quotes, because when people come to group fitness classes, they're feeling super vulnerable. They're afraid at the gym, all of the things, right? And then I was like, okay, well, how can I make people feel comfortable? How was I when I first started working out? And I was like, I just wanted somebody to be kind of like my friend and make jokes and tell me I'm going to get through this. It's short-lived. And I just got to keep pushing towards my goals. So in my classes, I was like, I need to make this a place where people feel comfortable. So about a year ago, it would be like a year in November now, somebody after my fitness class, a spin class, she asked me, she's like, do you do motivational speaking? And I was like, no. She's like, well, you really should outside of the gym. And that's kind of where it extended to having these like positive mindset events and meetups. And then ultimately now creating the Become Your Vision podcast, where people can listen whenever, wherever, for free on any device. So
I've loved watching your journey of how you've kind of like evolved, just like consistently. And I am a big believer in the power of mindset too. I listen to a lot of motivational speaking, and I love that. I think it's so, I was never like growing up, I was never a big believer in it. And then the older you get, you kind of see like it really does affect like how you believe in yourself and just how you carry yourself. So let's just talk about the power mindset a little bit. So like, when did you kind of notice this difference when you really got into mindset? And then like, how did you notice a difference like in your daily life with the power mindset?
So I would say like right when I think it's so much change happened when I was pregnant with Ollie. So he's going to be 4. And I was like, so I don't know, it made me confident in my ability because I continued to work out, and it stemmed there like, wow, if I put my mind to it and I know I'm taking, being cautious while I'm working out, like I can truly grow a baby and still be healthy. And that was like where the mindset happened. And then right around that time, we moved from Indiana to South Carolina when he was about like 6 months. And I was like, it was hard moving away from family and friends into a new city that had different people and different weather and all the different things. And I stumbled upon podcasts. I think my husband was like listening to podcasts. It was like, everybody was like Joe Rogan, and people still are Joe Rogan. I'm like, I need to find a female like Joe Rogan. So I like started like Googling, and, women have popped up like Chalene Johnson and Lori Harder. And I was like, okay, so I started listening to them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they were like my far away mentors and cheerleaders that were free. So that kind of created the change for me. And then it evolved into so many different things. I'm like, there is such power in switching the mind and getting a different perspective of that. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's so weird because like looking back, it's like similar to you. I can remember the exact day that I started listening to Jenna Kutcher's podcast, and I would listen to it on the way to work every day. And it was a job I hated. It was a job I dreaded going to, but I'd listen to her and I would like feel like empowered. It was insane.
Yes.
So that's
it's
so cool.
amazing.
It is. Yeah. And it's like, yeah.
And when people say we don't like listen to podcasts, I'm like, how do you not listen to podcasts? They're free. You can listen to them like driving your kids to school, while you're getting ready, while you're going on a walk. It's free information. It's not just about positive mindset. You can find a podcast on literally everything: gardening, knitting, whatever, increasing your financial gains, things like that. So I'm like, how?
Like the world's at your fingertips. Yeah.
Yes,
Can do.
for sure.
Yeah. And so I think one of the biggest things with mindset is once you're in it, it's so easy to see why. So what do you say to moms that are especially like feeling really negative? I know, there's some people that maybe they grew up in a very negative household, or they just are around negativity a lot. So finding themselves down. So what kind of tips would you have for moms or women watching that to kind of baby step, to kind of get into that positive mindset gear?
First and foremost is having a thing that is just for them. And I can't stress exercise enough. Some people are like, well, I want to get to a certain size before I work out. No. You do it now. Start with baby steps. Start going on the treadmill. Start taking classes and having that one thing that is just for you. And then exercise has been proven to help that positive mindset. Like you can be resisting the workout the entire time. Like, I hate this. Oh my gosh, checking your watch. When can I get off this thing? Or when does this class end? But ultimately, when you leave the gym, or you don't even have to work out at the gym, you can take beach body classes and things at home. When you are done with your workout, it will give you that confirmation, like, I did something for me. I accomplished something off of my to-do list. What is next? And then also kind of going that thing that is just for you, having a hobby that is just for you, not for the kids, not for your spouse. And then that is how you're going to meet people. If you have a lot of negativity in your life, that is going to be how you meet people that have the same interests as you. And if they have a hobby that is, positive, generally they're not going to be the negative Nancy's. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Taking those small steps, finding something that you enjoy. Because I think I think that's a big thing too, is asking yourself, what do I enjoy? What makes me happy? And what will give me that joy? So I think that was an awesome way to approach that. So I know we kind of touched on your journey into motivational speaking. So let's kind of dive a little bit further and just kind of talk about kind of like the starting steps you took and how you got to the point that you're at now.
I feel like I'm still in it. Okay, so I started, I started with like, okay, how long is this going to take? And I started with how many people I wanted to kind of inspire. And I thought of, first and foremost, I was like, I need help. So I hired a coach. So I basically wrote down what like positive mindset meant for me. I started watching like TEDx talks of motivational speakers, listening to podcasts, you know, writing out the stories that I wanted to share that I think that would help people. And then I hired a coach and she helped me like whittle it down, because I remember the first meeting that I went to, I was super nervous, and she was like, okay, girl, she's like, we have some things that we can work with. But you need to whittle it down, stop going off on all these tangents. You know, people can only sit for a certain amount of time. And then she was a deal breaker for me, and she helped me so much, because then, so I met with her 4 times and it was an investment. This whole motivational speaking, I was like, I knew it would be super hard, super challenging. And a lot of people think like these events are going to be very lucrative. And in the beginning, they're not. You know, I invested in things like that. But having that notion of like realizing like, okay, I am doing this for good purposes and hope to inspire and then grow and learn from it. I knew that it would, you know, be a experience return, maybe not a financial return, but I would grow so much in just experience alone. So
what are those like immediate like feelings you have after, you know, doing a motivational like speaking to someone? What do you feel after?
I'm usually tired. I'm emotionally drained, but I don't know. It's crazy because I hype myself up and I create this stress, and it's like almost like I can breathe. Sometimes it's hard for when people like create these positive mindsets and like write these like motivational books. It's generally people that need to hear it the most. So I try to like just take a step back and breathe. And what it feels like is like, I automatically think, what's next? What's next? How can we do better? How can we grow? What's the next thing? So that's,
I love it. That's like that personal development mindset of like,
yeah.
All right, it was good, but like, what can we do to improve it and constantly improve?
All right, guys, thanks for tuning into this episode of MomTalks with Christa with Lauren Kubat. Next week will be part 2, where she's going to talk more about her podcast, Become Your Vision. If you found this or any episode of MomTalks with Christa helpful, please leave a review. Your support means the world to me. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of MomTalks with Christa. If you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. It should be down here somewhere. We release new episodes every single Wednesday. And if you're not following us yet, be sure to follow us at Mommy Knows Best on Instagram. And remember, if you're watching this and doubting yourself, you are a great mom. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week.